Some people just don't feel comfortable owing money, and it starts to impact their thought process and their sleep and their overall stress. And there's a sense of freedom by paying those things off. And so I think peace of mind is a major consideration for everyone. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. This is Garrett Gunderson getting just a little delirious here on Ask the Money Nerds. Stillman and I messing around too much, so we better record. We better get to these questions here. We've got someone that's coming into some money and has a lot of questions on what to pay off or where to invest. So I think this is pretty comprehensive. And I'm just going to start this by asking, like, if you knew that you were going to get an extra $100,000 tomorrow, above and beyond everything else you had, I mean, what would you do with it? And if you already have a lot of money, maybe it's $1 million. Like, it's not so much money that you can stop doing everything that you're doing, but it's enough money that it changes your life and some of your considerations. That's what we're headed into here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are great questions to ask. Oh. Don't you call that the abundance index?
That's like just a tiny sliver and taste of it, tiny bit.
Okay, maybe we'll get into that in a later conversation.
You never know.
Okay, today's question is from Lee.
Okay, Lee.
And he says that they're coming into some serious money soon.
Cool.
We are selling my mother-in-law's house.
Okay.
Once the money from that sale comes in, we should pay off some debt before investing in real estate. Sorry, that was a question, not a statement. Should we pay off the debt before we invest in real estate?
Well, let's look at when it comes to loans. I mean, there's the economics behind it, and there's the peace of mind behind it. Some people just don't feel comfortable owing money, and it starts to impact their thought process and their sleep and their overall stress. And there's a sense of freedom by paying those things off. And so I think peace of mind is a major consideration for everyone. And if we go, well, the economics would say you could earn more than you pay. Well, that's fine, unless it really deteriorates you being able to produce more, because you are your greatest asset, not a stock, bond, or piece of real estate. And your ability to produce value should be at the forefront of everything. Because what if I could truly earn 10% with investing, and I could earn that 10 and then I only had to pay 5% to keep my loan? Well, yeah, I'm making more than that's costing me. But what if that investment and having that loan make me feel worried, make me feel stressed? And now I'm producing less as a human being. Maybe my ability to produce, especially in my business, might have a 20% or 30% impact over a given year, right? So it wouldn't make sense to go invest in something I don't know or control and maybe speculate with that, or have a loan that might create stress in a marriage, for example, right? One person just really might want that loan paid off. And my good friend Rich Christensen, when he became an entrepreneur, his wife said, "Can we just pay off our mortgage?" He says, "But it's such a low interest rate." She goes, "But I just feel better." Now he sold 19 businesses. And he's still married, and he's happily married. So these are some of the considerations: is economics on one side and peace of mind on the other.
Yeah, definitely. The next part to his question, he says, we would like to pay off our cars and a loan, maybe around $25,000, more than enough money left to put towards real estate investments. But I'm being told by different family and friends, who is also a real estate genius. So I guess there's conflicting messages is what I'm gathering. And we just don't want all of this extra money going out every month. I feel like I'm on a rope in a nightmare version of tug of war.
Okay.
So he's feeling overwhelmed and stressed, it sounds like, from the extra money that's coming into him.
Personal finance should be personal. Personal.
Yeah.
Someone who's a real estate genius that can really produce well and has a long track record and has a background in it might operate completely different to someone that's new to having this kind of money and hasn't done a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Be careful with the notion of, well, I'm just going to invest with my real estate genius friend or family member, because if it doesn't work out for them, they might have different strategies. We're all different, right? Risk isn't in the investment, it's in them, the investor.
Yeah.
So if you want to become a great real estate investor, invest in real estate education, invest in that knowledge. Don't just rely on someone else, utilize them and learn from them. So paying these things off so you have peace of mind and it allows you to feel a better start with less risk, that's okay, right? That's the right answer for them. Maybe not for someone else, but for them.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't feel conflicted. I mean, I don't pay off my mortgage, but I don't feel bad when someone else does. And I go, Why would you pay that mortgage off, Stolba?
Why would you do such a thing?
Look, my belief is just have it paid off or have it financed when you're paying somewhere in between. And look, one of our more popularly hated videos here on YouTube.
I know which one you're talking
is
about.
People that I said, hey, paying off your mortgage might destroy your finances. And what I'm talking about is amortized loans that people pay extra to. So it ends up creating equity, but it shortens the loan, yes, but it doesn't lower the payment on the loan. And when we're looking at COVID-19, we're looking at the 2020 recessionary type of thing that we're facing here. People that have money locked up in the equity of their home might not be able to access that money because banks are going to get really tight during this time. Watch, we're already seeing it happen because people are pulling out so much money right now because they're worried about how long this is going to last, that might make it less available for others. There's articles that are out there on it right now as we speak. So paying that off might just feel really good. And it might just be like, okay, great, that's handled. Now, if you are going to pay off a mortgage, just pay it off in one fell swoop. Don't try to, don't be giving the bank extra money and locking your money up in there. Yeah. There's things called velocity banking is a term I used to call it, HELOC buy down, where people use a line of credit and they pay it down and then they charge everything on a credit card. Then they pay off the credit card with the line of credit. Right. And then they take all their income and pay down the line of credit. And it just starts to, but one thing you have to be careful of with that is banks might start lowering the lines of credit that are unused. Or when they pay down, they go, okay, we're taking that back down because we might see equity disappear because of a real estate, slide with all of this. So you got to be really careful of that. So feel no guilt paying these loans off.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Definitely. And I think anytime a friend or a family member recommends something that they feel like they're really good at, it's always a great idea to treat your own investment like a business rather than a hobby, to be able to ask the right questions of the people who say that they're the experts, so you can get a full understanding of what's going, and you're not just transferring it over blindly, even if it is a friend and or a family member.
Right. I mean, just having that freed up cash flow of no car payment or these other loans, and that feeling of satisfaction that it's gone, and it sounds like there's still going to be money to do other things with real estate. Yeah. So look, I would watch my home mortgage lie video, the investor DNA videos here as well. So as you're going into this prepared. We have a whole series on financial independence. So keep diving in on the YouTube videos that we're putting out here. Keep commenting, asking your questions, and we'll continue to support you.